Hi, this is Ameila and Elizabeth from twinmusics.com. We are here with Kragen from Heathen. Thank you for having this interview with us today. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem at all.
Awesome. So how's everything been going for you?
It's been going all right. The pandemic won't stop us from releasing some new music, and we're just doing everything that we can to promote it right now.
Yeah, and you also got #1 on the Amazon charts for metal. How does that feel?
It's great. I mean, it's we put a lot of work into the record, so it's really cool to see that, fans are responding to it and enjoying it.
That's awesome. And what was your writing and recording process for your new album?
It was a little bit different than we've done in the past. We didn't have the luxury of kind of getting together and working the songs out in a rehearsal room or anything. So we took sort of a more modern approach to songwriting. I did a lot of the pre-production work here at home in my home studio, and basically sent out demos to the other guys to check out. And then we talk about them, and in one case there was a song that needed quite a bit of revision, and some other ones where they were basically ready to record. So we spent all of last year doing the sort of remaining pre-production and then recording, and it was definitely a long process. Some of the songs have been in existence since 2012, so it's been a while, but we finally got a chance to work on it and finish the album and get it ready for release.
Awesome, and it's a really good album too.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
That's okay. So what's your favorite song to play off the new album?
I don't know. That's a good one. I mean, they're kind of all my babies, so yeah. It's hard to choose. I like different songs for different reasons. I really like each one of the 3 singles for different reasons. The Blight has a lot of layered guitar work in it that I really enjoy. The title track, Empire of the Blind, has a really cool epic feel to it. Sun in My Hand is really catchy, and it's got a lot of sort of dark lyrics, dark imagery in the lyrics, but it's ultimately a positive message. I really like A Fine Red Mist, which is the instrumental track. I was able to get some of my Bay Area heroes to come together and sort of play on the track. We had Gary Holt and Rick Hunolt, the original Exodus team, the H team. They played solos. Doug Piercy, former Heathen guitar player, played some solos on that song. So it's hard to pick, but those are sort of the ones that are really the most meaningful as far as what went into them to make them.
And how did you come up with your album cover, and is there a meaning behind it?
For the album title?
For the album cover.
Oh, for the cover. We had artist Travis Smith do the album cover. He and I have been working on projects together for over 20 years now, and we have a great relationship in terms of communicating, and we really wanted to have sort of an iconic album cover. And really, ultimately, what you're seeing on the cover is this sort of monumental-sized skull that I imagine is almost like it was part of a giant statue, maybe similar in size to our Statue of Liberty here in the United States. That's laying on the ground. It's blindfolded, and the Empire is more or less in total ruins in the background. And so it's really sort of a representation of the title track, and more or less sort of the general themes from the lyrics that are more social or political oriented. And Travis did a killer job with the album cover. He's so good at making a visual representation of the lyrics, whether it's metaphors or the sort of themes in the music. And he just does such a great job, and it really came out killer. It's very iconic.
And that's awesome. And so, I watched the video clip for Sun in My Hands, so that's a really cool video clip. So how did you come up with that idea?
Actually, we worked with an artist named Costin Chinero, and he more or less just came up with the concept himself. It's sort of his interpretation of the lyrics, which are different from mine in a way, but it's really cool to sort of see a different interpretation and a unique visual representation of the song. He did a killer job with the video, and I know the band, everybody in the band was super happy when they saw it, and people, fans seem to like it as well. So it's really cool to be able to work with various people on all of these elements of the album, whether it's the cover art or the music production or videos. And it's everything's sort of come together, and it's been really great so far.
And I think it's one of my favorite songs off that album as well. So it's a really good song.
Oh, thanks. I'm glad you like it.
That's okay. So do you have any upcoming tour plans? I know of COVID and stuff, but do you have anything planned for next year?
Honestly, it's really difficult to plan right now. We sort of don't know what's going to be allowed or not allowed. We had about 5 months of tour dates this year that we had to cancel. Yeah. And we're trying our best to sort of reschedule things for next year. We had some dates in Europe, South America, Japan. We were starting to investigate dates in Australia and New Zealand. And, right now it's just a real challenge, because I think even in the first half of the year, it's going to be difficult for bands to sort of travel freely in other countries, and possibly even in our own. And so it's, we're just doing whatever we can to sort of try and plan for as much as we can next year. But really I think it's not going to get back to normal until 2022. Next year, every band on the planet is going to want to go out and tour, because they had to sit home all year. And so I think we're going to see almost too many shows. There's going to be a lot of sort of logistical issues with tour buses and crew and availability of concert venues, and even I think there may be some issues in terms of how much money the promoters can spend on shows and everything, because they haven't had any for a year. So it's really just all up in the air, and all we can do is stay positive and try and do our best to get whatever we can going for next year. And in the case that we can't do much touring, we may surprise the world and work on another Heathen album right away. So we'll see.
Awesome. And do you think you'll do any live streams?
I don't know. We've been talking about that. It's difficult because all of us live in different places now. We're spread out across 4 different states in the United States, all the way from New York to the Bay Area. So it's kind of difficult. We can't get together and play as often as we like right now. We're talking about maybe trying to find a way to do some kind of remote live stream. But a lot of bands are doing that right now. I know it's basically all they can do. I certainly would not be a fan of charging money for it like some bands are doing. To me, it's kind of like paying to watch a band rehearse.
Yeah.
For me, it's like, why bother? I'd rather put my time and energy, frankly, into, whatever we can to be creative and maybe even work on new music and keep releasing new stuff. So we'll see. We'll see what we can do, and certainly everybody's available, so that won't be a problem.
And there's this really cool studio in San Diego called Rock and Roll San Diego, if you need it. And they use like 7 cameras on their live streams, so it's like an actual concert. So if you ever need to do it, they have one there.
Very good to know. Thank you.
That's okay. Rock and Roll San Diego. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
And next year is your 30th anniversary of Victims of Deception. So are you planning on the re-release?
Yes. It is not going to be easy. Basically, the record company that released it originally, Roadrunner Records, was bought by Warner Music. And I have been in discussions with them to more or less get the rights so that we can make a proper reissue. But unfortunately, it's probably going to be one of those situations where if you want it, you have to buy it directly from the band, because we're going to be able to more or less license it, but it'll just be for just distribution in the U.S. Now, we can certainly ship it out as imports, but it's going to be a self-release, probably through my own record label. And, we do have the original mixes. We're going to do a proper remaster of the record. It won't be remixed or anything. Everybody is pretty happy with the mixes. But we're going to do a proper remaster and reissue. We'll be using the original sort of colors in the artwork. When Roadrunner put it out, they brightened it up and kind of made it look a little happier than it should have, frankly. The original painting is very dark and ominous, and so we have that, and we'll be doing something pretty cool with it for next year. It probably won't have the distribution that we would hope for, but we definitely want to get CDs and vinyl and everything out there, a new version, because fans are looking for it on all formats and are having difficulty finding it.
So does that mean you'll also tour that album? I know you have to tour your new album as well, so how's that going to work?
No, I mean, I know everybody wants us to play the whole thing live or whatever. Yeah. We probably wouldn't, honestly. I mean, I know in talking to Lee, there's one song that when I first joined the band, I asked him, hey, can we play this song? I really like this song from Victims of Deception. And he said, honestly, I can't remember one of the riffs in it. So, we'll see. Our priority obviously is going to be to play the new stuff and a collection of older stuff that I know the fans want to see. I'm hoping that we can at least, maybe get out of one of the songs that we haven't played from that record in the past, but we'll see. It's hard to even know how long our set length will be or what we'll be doing until we get a tour. So.
And now we're going to ask you our signature question. So if you could have any band perform one of your songs, which band would it be? Which song would it be? And would it be in your style or their style?
Ooh, interesting question.
Thank you.
And so any current band playing one of our songs,
yep.
Which song would it be, and would it be in what style? Interesting. Yeah. Wow. I'm trying to think. I would love to hear a modern thrash band maybe like, I don't know, maybe Havoc or something, do a cover of Hypnotized. I would also really enjoy hearing, like, I don't know, even a death metal version of one of the classics from Breaking the Silence or something. I'm trying to think of a particular band, off the top of my head. It's hard to think of one, but we'll go with Havoc doing Hypnotized.
Awesome.
And they can do it in whatever style they like.
Nice. And so you were also a fill-in guitarist for Exodus while Gary Holt was on tour. So how did this come about, and what was your favorite memory of Exodus?
When Gary got asked to play with Slayer, right after Jeff Hanneman died, there was a period of time there where he was able to sort of juggle both. And it wasn't until in 2013 when I did my first tour with them, that was when they were touring for the Exhibit B album. He couldn't do it, and we had a summer tour where they had Rick Hunolt filling in for him for a little bit, and Rick couldn't do it either, so they asked me to do it. I was already, a member of Heathen, and Heathen and Exodus had toured together in Europe a couple of times, so I was, friendly with all the guys and everything, and we had shared a bus, and so they asked me to do it, and I had a lot of fun, and I thought maybe that was just, it was going to be a one-time thing. And I didn't do anything with them in 2014, but right at the beginning of 2015, I got a call at 8 o'clock in the morning from Lee, and he asked me, he said, "Hey, can you go to Australia with us?" And I said, "Sure, when? When are we talking about?" And he said, "Tonight." So I said yes, and I had 12 hours to relearn the Exodus set and pack and get on a flight to Australia. And I met the guys there, and we did Soundwave and a couple of shows with Fear Factory as well.
That's awesome.
And then I continued touring with them for, like 5 years almost straight. My favorite memory was probably getting to do 2 shows in Europe with Metallica as the headliner.
Wow.
Teenage me would never have believed in a million years that I would not only get to play with not one but 2 of my favorite bands, thrash bands, but also to basically play shows with every single one of the big 4 bands. So that was really, really cool memory, and a really awesome experience. And those guys are wonderful. I still work with them on the management side. I co-manage the band, so I'm thankful that they gave me the opportunity to play with them, and that I can still continue to work with them.
That's so cool. Oh my God. That's what dreams are made of, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. It was hard. It would have been hard for me to believe when I was a kid. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And last question: is there anything else you would like to say to your fans?
Thank you very much for your incredible patience, waiting for another 10 years for a Heathen album. We appreciate that, and appreciate all the support. The new album is out right now, Empire of the Blind. You can stream it anywhere. Pick up a copy. We hope that you enjoy it, and we look forward to coming down to tour in Australia and New Zealand. Hopefully sometime next year or the year after, whenever the pandemic allows us.
Awesome. Thank you so much for this interview today.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you. I appreciate the interview. The interview.